Hi folks, this is Howard, and I wanted to shoot this quick video on some questions and emails I received. Basically, I'm receiving a lot of emails of people asking me how I am successful in this network marketing, internet marketing, whatever you want to call it, this business that we are in, how I have been able to accomplish my success. And it's a lot easier for me to just shoot this video rather than reply to all the emails. You know, Writing up different emails I really don't find being fun. Even though I love all you guys out there, and I'm gonna open a book and I'll help you where I can. This video is just easier for me to do it. So I'll go ahead and I will answer that question. Now I'm going to flip the script a little bit on this here, and maybe in Indian, I think you'll understand what I'm talking about here. Um, how am I successful in this business, doing what I do? In order to understand how I am successful in this business, you need to understand why I am successful in this business. And the why will explain and make you understand the how to. Okay. Um, the reason why I am successful is my why. And my why is this. And hopefully you guys can see it. Hopefully you can see it in there. But this is a picture of me and my two boys. This is my team. This is my squad, as some people call it. This is why I do everything I do. These two boys, my son rises and sets with them. Now my oldest is 15 and my youngest is 6. I know that's a big gap, but I keep a picture. I keep that picture on my desk every day, and I get to look at it every day, every time I'm at my desk, and it reminds me of why I do what I do. Now, as I mentioned before, my oldest is 15, my youngest is 6, and just to give you just an example of why I am successful or how I am successful by explaining my why is I do what I do because of my why. Because I do what I do because it allows me to get time back to spend with them. It allows me not to have to work overtime at a job, spend 12 hours, 14 hours at a job. And by the time I get home, I'm too tired to spend any time with my boys. Um, I do what I do. My why is also it allows me to have the resources to do fun things with them. Basically, to be able to do what I want with them anytime I do want, not having to beg a boss, not having to worry about do I have enough money to do this here. Um, it just allows me to do what I want to do with my boys when I want to do it. And that's my why. And I'm going to give you just a little quick example of this. This year, my son started his first year at high school. And one of his early assignments was to write a couple page paper just detailing a significant life event. And this is what he wrote. And I don't know if you guys can see it here, but the title is The Day I Met the Legend, Stan the Man Lee. Okay? And for those of you that don't know out there who Stan Lee is basically, well, he's not basically, he is the godfather of the comic book superhero world out there. He's the guy, along with a few partners, but he's the main guy that has basically kept Marvel Comics on the map. And you may not think you know what Marvel Comics is, but I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of their work. I'm sure that you've all heard of Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, Thor, Fantastic Four, all of those comic book series and characters and franchises. Well, Stan Lee is the person responsible for writing those and for creating those and for basically bringing those to life. The movies out there, the Spider-Man franchise movie, The Avengers, you guys probably saw that, a few summers ago. The Hulk, also a few summers ago. Those big movies you probably seen with the kids. Well, Stan Lee was the person who created those things. So without Stan Lee, there would be none of those franchises or characters. Well, the reason why this is important to me and to my son is that my son wants his goal, what he wants to do with his life, his career, is to be a person that designs, writes, and comics. He's really into comics. That's what he likes. He likes to draw them. He likes to write them. He likes to do comics. That's his thing. Now, for a million years, I would never expect myself to be involved in comic. That wasn't my thing growing up. But what a lot of you will realize is that when you have children and they come to when they're really interested in something, that you'll find out is that your children's interest and hobbies will quickly become yours. So I'm a comic geek now. Why? Because of my son. My son's into it, so I'm into it. So that's something that we do together, And going back to the story, basically with this whole Stan Lee thing, last summer I was able to take my son to the Philadelphia Comic Con. Now, if you guys don't know what the Comic Con is, it stands for Comic Book Convention, basically where they bring in all the celebrities, a lot of the famous comic writers, a lot of the new video games based on comics come. They come all to the Philadelphia Civic Center, which is a huge, huge place. And they show everything that's coming out. It's basically based on comics. Now, some of the celebrities, obviously Stan Lee was there. We had a lot of the wrestlers. John Cena, I don't know if you guys know, he's a WWE superstar. Also the guy that played in Thor, I don't know what his name is. His first name's Chris. He's a real pretty boy, blonde hair. He was there. Just tons and tons of celebrities that were there from my childhood. Like I got a chance to meet Lou Ferrigno was there. And if you guys know who Lou Ferrigno was, he's the original Incredible Hulk, the guy they put in green paint. I got a chance to meet him and shake his hand, which was totally awesome. Got a chance to meet Anthony Michael Hall too. You guys remember him from 16 Candles and from those movies, Saturday Night Live too. The whole, I think they were called back in the late 80s and 90s. They did a bunch of movies. They were called the Brat Pack. Him, Molly Ringwald, Judge. Their names. I'm getting a senior moment here, but anyway, got a chance to meet a lot of those celebrities. I got a chance to meet Billy D. Williams there too. Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian. I got a chance to meet Patrick Stewart, Jean-Luc Picard from Star Trek. All those guys, all from the whole fantasy, all from the whole comic book series. But you guys get where I'm going with this. Well, anyway, my son really wanted to go to this. And basically, he wants to be a person who designs and creates comic books when he grows up. That's what he wants to do. So as a surprise to him, I went out and I purchased VIP tickets now the comic book lasts for 4 days from Thursday to Friday. Okay. For all 4 days, I was able to purchase VIP tickets, and these VIP tickets are not cheap. I mean, they are a lot of money. We're talking, probably for the tickets, probably about $700 I paid for those things. And, with these VIP tickets, you waited in line for nothing, and you had an opportunity to meet Stan Lee. You had an opportunity to converse with Stan Lee. You got an opportunity to attend a private meet and greet session with him. You got a chance to basically just interact with Stan Lee. Now, for those of you who don't understand the magnitude of this, to someone who is in the comic book, scene, it would be the equivalent of your kid who's really into basketball being able to meet and dribble on the court with Michael Jordan. Do you see where I'm going here with this? That's just the magnitude of this. Imagine your kid who's into sports, who's into basketball, high school basketball student, being able to spend time with Michael Jordan on the court, shooting hoops, talking about whatever you want to talk about. And that's what I was able to do with my son. Now, the way I would not have been able to do that with my son if I didn't have my success within my online network marketing business. And that's basically it. Now, what we did is we made an entire weekend about it. I took my son into Center City. We stayed at the Lowe's Hotel, and if anybody's who's familiar with that area where the convention center is in Philadelphia, you know the Lowe's Hotel, very swanky place, very nice hotel. We stayed up on the top floor, top digs. I mean, we spared no expense on it. We ate at different restaurants every day. We love the Reading Terminal. That's my favorite. And any of you guys in the Philadelphia area, you know, Reading Terminal is the bomb. You can get any type of food you want in the Reading Terminal. Strange stuff that I never had before, and it was just incredible. But we made a weekend out of it. Me and my son. Now my 6-year-old is a little bit too young to go, but it was just me and my 15-year-old, and we made a father-son weekend, and we just geeked out. You know, we went there and we had fun. Stayed at the Lowe's. Um, had great food. Enjoyed the comic convention. Met Stan Lee. And here, let me just show you this here, just to show you. Here's my son here, and I had took this photograph of him. This is, I don't know if you can see it too well, but this is him meeting his hero, Stan Lee, meeting the guy that made all of his comic book um, fantasies and all of the things that made him want to become a comic book person who creates comic books. Um, you know, that's the person who started it. My son's favorite comic book hero is Spider-Man, and Stan Lee created that. So in order to imagine you being able to meet someone who created, you know, one of your favorite things, the things, one of the icons like Spider-Man that is setting him on the path to become a comic book designer, someone who creates it. And also in the convention too, he was able to meet other comic book artists, illustrators, writers, you know, and you know, pick their brains on what he needs to do in order to, you know, in order to make that move. Now my son's only 15 years old. He still has a few more years of high school, but you know, it started to plant the seed in his mind. And I wouldn't have been able to do any of this unless I had success within my online business. But let me go ahead and let me transition this more so that way you'll understand. But here's a paper that my son wrote. Again, if I showed it before, but it's The Dad Met Stan Lee, and basically he wrote this as his significant event. It basically details everything that we did that weekend. I didn't know that this was such a big deal to him until I read the paper. But I'm going back to the last paragraph, and I just want to read it to you. And this will sum it all up, and you'll understand it. Okay, his last paragraph of this paper he wrote, after the whole Stan Lee fiasco, my dad and I soon wandered the endless booths that adorn with toys, comic books, and graphic tees, etc. We did enjoy meeting other comic book enthusiasts and buying a few comic books to add to our collection. After a long day filled with fun, excitement, and a bit of disappointment, we got to eat something at Tony Luke's, and then we headed home. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to meet Stan Lee, and I got to share it with my dad, who was also my hero. That last sentence sums up the reason why I do this, the reason why I'm successful at this, and the reason why I make things happen within this business. My son said this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to meet Stan Lee, and I got to share it with my dad, who was also my hero. I don't need to say anything else. So anytime, so to just sum this all up and to make you understand how I am successful in this business, and now you see my why, they are joined together. My why is integrated with my how, okay? The only way that I can do my how is to understand my why. So whenever I don't feel like, you know, looking for traffic, whenever I don't feel like, creating videos, whenever I don't feel like reaching out, whenever I just want to sit on my ass and not do anything with my business, I look at this picture right here. I look at this picture right here. And I also read this last sentence. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to meet Stan Lee, and I got to share it with my dad, who was also my hero. You know what I do? I look at those pictures, I read those things, and I get off my ass and I do what I need to do to make my business succeed. I do whatever it takes to make my business succeed. Why? Because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to have the time in order to do these fun things with my son. I wouldn't be able to have the additional resources to be able to do the fun things with my son. So that's basically it. You guys asked how I do what I need to do in order to be successful at this. And my answer to you is my why. My why are my two sons. My oldest being my 15-year-old. I'm able to buy time because I do what I do. I'm able to buy time to do cool things with him. I'm able to have the resources in order to do cool things with him. I'm able to do cool things with him whenever I want because of that. Not having to worry about, okay, I got to work this much overtime in order to be able to afford these tickets or this weekend with my son. No, I don't. I just do it. Why? Because I have the resources in order for my online business in order to do it. And, I'm not anything special. Believe me, I was an average college student, average high school student. The the difference between me and maybe a person who hasn't had the success that I had is just my belief system and the fact that I take action. Like I mentioned before, whenever I'm feeling lazy, whenever I feel like I don't want to do something, I look at my why. I look at my two sons. I look at my kids. Now my 6-year-old, he's real easy. All I got to do is take him to Toys R Us and he's happy. Take him to the park and he's happy. And we do that. Whenever in the afternoon. Just hey, Alexander, you want to go to the park? Yeah, let's go. Then we'll go and spend a couple hours at the park. Don't have to don't have to ask a boss to do it. Don't have to worry about different things. We just do it. But I hope that answers the questions that I sent. Again, I'm going to be posting this on my blog so that way you guys can see. And if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me. If you have any questions about the particular opportunities I'm in, go ahead and click on the link down below, and you'll be able to see. And feel free to drop me an email, drop some comments, and we can chop it up, and I can explain to you how I do what I do. But I hope this makes sense that your why is directly related into how you do what you do. Okay? Because with me personally, if I didn't have a why, if I didn't have these guys, my team, the reasons why my son and my son rises and my son set, because of these guys, there would be no how. I mean, I wouldn't be motivated to do it. Do you understand that? So again, this is Howard signing off. Again, shoot me some questions, shoot me some comments if you have any questions about it. And if you're curious, go ahead and click the link below, and we'll talk soon. Talk to you later, guys. Signing out.